Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us for today's WFB Live. I'm Kim Walgren. I'm the editor of Wood Floor Business. And today we have a very cool product from a company that Kendra and I first encountered on the show floor at Surfaces this year in Las Vegas. And when we started talking with Cheston, the co-founder and CEO, we thought that this product would be so helpful for our audience and our wood flooring contractors and retailers. So before I turn it over to Cheston to tell you all about it, just a quick note that if you have any questions during his presentation, you can enter them into the Q&A panel in Zoom, and we will definitely have time for him to answer those questions when he's done with his presentation. So with that, Cheston, I will turn it over to you.
Thanks, Kim, and thank you everybody for being here today. I know you could be a lot of other places, but you're here with us, and I think you'll find this valuable. So for the last 10 years, nearly a decade, I have been doing remote estimates for my own business, Premier Cabinet Painting. And over the years, we were looking for a way to expand into other services, particularly flooring. And in order to continue with the remote estimates, we needed a solution. And that's how we came up with Quote That. So we didn't want to give up our most valuable, in my opinion, our most valuable asset, and that was the remote estimates that unlocked so much for us. And that's what I'm here to share with you today. All right, so real quick, I'll just go over the agenda. Here's what we'll cover today. Why traditional estimates are, in my opinion, grossly inefficient, what remote estimating makes possible, and best practices for remote selling. And then we'll finish with a live walkthrough of how the product and the app works. The session is really for flooring companies with an active pipeline and consistent leads. If you're getting leads and lots of them and need a better way to handle them, you're in a good place. If you are still building traffic and trying to get leads, this could be a future fit. So the truth is, most leads are never going to close, yet businesses still go on site for their estimates anyways. Let me say that again. Most leads are never going to close, but yet you go to every appointment on site anyways. So is this really as efficient as it could be? What if you had a better way of knowing who was very likely to close and just went to them? Sales reps eat up a part of the pie. They are also limited in how many stops they can make in a given day, not to mention the number of issues that arise around scheduling appointments, no-shows, house calls, and rescheduling. Remote estimates can solve this. The best leads are the ones who engage beyond the submission of a form or a quick phone call to the company. Just submitting a web form is too easy and doesn't mean that they are worth your time or your sales rep's time yet. The best leads will prove themselves to you all on their own. They will engage with the app by at least installing it. Perhaps start a measurement or make you an entire floor plan of their project with all the material types selected for each room. Those are the ones that we want to focus on. My general rule is no engagement, there's no visit. Then there's the obvious benefits, I think, which is quoting faster. You're only going to go visit serious buyers who have shown engagement, and your team becomes way more efficient. Best case scenario is you can close the job remotely. Worst case is you do an on-site visit, but it's at least to a super engaged lead. Most of you probably have a form on your website. The lead fills it out, and then the ball is back in your court to make something happen. Schedule an appointment, go deliver an estimate. With Quote That, we capture the same critical contact information, does exactly what you do now, but then they're given the app to keep the momentum going, and they're able to actually furnish you what you need. Measurements. Engagement is the signal. This is how we identify and close the serious leads. One person using Quote That can easily match the output of a small sales team, which means more profit for the business owners. Less people, more profit, same revenue. You save on overhead, speed up quoting, and boost your close rate by reaching customers before your competitors can even get to their vehicle. By the time your competitor even schedules an appointment with them, you can already have numbers to this prospect. And as your lead flow grows, this will easily scale with you. Remote doesn't mean impersonal, okay? We've built some things into the app to add personalization and that friendly feel that a lot of local businesses offer, that custom feel, customization. A couple tips are you always need to follow up with any stalled lead. So any lead that stalls at any step, phone them up and remind them that there is a real person on the other end paying attention to what they're doing. The other critical point of contact is when it comes time to deliver price. If a user gives you all the inputs via the app and you can just send them over a price, don't. Don't ever just email a price. You must deliver your sales pitch first or your value proposition, whatever you want to call it. Get on the phone and explain to them the value that you bring. If you're a premium service like I was, they need to know why you are worth spending extra on. And we've even put this into a video format so that they would view the video before they can receive their estimate. And that's exactly how it works. No video, no phone call, no estimate. They've got to do these things. With this process, our in-person close rate jumped to over 85% if we even had to go in person. So when we did go in person to finalize a deal, it was north of 85%. Because by the time we actually would meet, the customer had been engaged, they received a price or a price range, and they understood our value and were ready to move forward. We were only spending our precious time on serious buyers. All right, let's jump into the product demo. All right, so here we are on a customer's page. This is one example of how it's being used for leads to enter your system. And this web form we provide to you, it is as simple as copy and pasting the code to replace your old web form, get rid of that thing, and use this. It'll give you so much more after the form submit. So I have this typed into a demo account. So we'll process this lead through here. And this is where the engagement begins, right? And so, boom, contact information is submitted. And right there is the install app button. So all they need to do is click that. And they are taken to the App Store to download it. Open. And now they allow Pace to stay connected with you. All right, so here we are in the app. This is the welcome screen. You can have your logo in the app at the top and a video, a custom personalized welcome video welcoming your lead to the app and giving them that personal touch so they can actually get a feel for somebody at your company. So when they're ready, they'll hit get started, and then they will pick the level of the house that they're on. So we're going to pick level 1. Couple tips to turn on the lights and open their shades, and then we're going to go through the permissions. And we're going to allow the camera access, and we're going to bypass this because we are recording as it is, but they will screen record. Now they are at the instructional video, and this is where they learn how to use the measurement tool. So I'll play it just for a moment just to show you, and then we can skip it. I'm going to show you how to measure your floors using this app to get a quick estimate. Okay, so we skipped it, but nonetheless, they would watch it all the way through. They know what each button does, and I'll show it to you here now, live in this demo. So we'll start measuring, and I'll just show you around. We're going to just do this hallway. We won't do the entire floor. We're going to do a office and kids playroom. So let's set this on the ground. So they're instructed to set this on the ground. This actually sets the height. So if you want to see real quick, I could set it up here onto this bench. If there was a different height, you can actually aim it at the wall as well. But we are doing the floor. And that is what the video instructed. So then they just simply go around and trace the shape of the room. And meanwhile, all this is going on. It is being screen recorded for you to watch. So everything that you're seeing right now is also going to be in a video sent to you as soon as they complete it. Something to know here, if they set a pin by mistake, there's an undo button right here on the bottom left. They can fix it that way. And we'll just kind of line that up a little better. I want to touch on that engagement piece again real quick, because if somebody is putting in this little bit of extra effort for you, that is indicative of a serious lead. Like, they put in just a little bit more. They're spending some time to mark out the space for you, give you the measurements. Like, this is somebody who's motivated and is going to be doing their project. There you go. So we have our first room completed. Now they're being asked to select a material type for the area that they just measured. And so this is a hardwood floor. For the demo here, we'll select refinishing. Say we want to keep it and just refinish. And then we select a label. And it doesn't look like one of the pre-selects here are a good option, so we'll make a custom one of hallway. Done. Then we'll apply it. Perfect. So now we are going to, we have a question. Have you measured every area in your space level 1? No. So we're going to add an area. We're going to continue building out this floor plan until all the rooms are done. Something I want to point out here for you to take notice is that above these pins there are numbers. And so when you look at the final plan, you can match the number. You can come back to this video and you can know where on the 2D floor plan you're looking at. And so that's the purpose of the pin numbers. You're going to see this is all on one plan. You're also going to see here we're aiming into a corner that we can't quite get to. So we just estimate about where the corner is, and it is placed. Right. So now we've completed that one. Let's say carpet, and we'll label this as a bedroom and apply. And there we go. So as you can see here, it's color coded based on the material type that they selected. So the brown is indicating that it's going to be a refinished surface, and the blue is indicating that we're wanting the carpet. So let's add one more. So as I finish up this last room measurement, I hope you can see how simple and user-friendly we made this. The instructional video shows a 2-room example on how to measure, and then it drops them right into measuring themselves. There's not a lot of options and ways the user can navigate, and we did that intentionally. You might even find it useful yourself. Perfect. So now we're going to select carpet again, apply, and then for this, we'll label it as the kids playroom. Done. We're going to apply it. And we could add another area or choose done. And you can see that there's a label inside the room, kids playroom right there, the label that they created. But I think this is good enough. We've got 3 different rooms. You can see them all mapped out together. Oh, there's the label for the hallway. And on the screen, it does disclose the square footage. However, you could hide that if you do not want them to have that information. It doesn't break it down by rooms, so they wouldn't know how many square feet are carpet versus refinishing. It just gives them the total for all the areas. But I understand, I've heard it's concerned that you don't want to make it easy for them to share with competitors, and understandably so. And then submit space. This is being uploaded to the contractor portal right away. So now you would have that. And here is the survey. So for that floor plan they just selected now, or for the floor plan they just measured, we are now going to answer some questions about the project. We'll select a date for when we want it installed. Demo and hallway. And these are all questions you can customize. So you can even change up the line of questioning based on an answer they give. So if I said no, you could ask a different question than if they answered yes. Off-street parking, yes. Unsure about the subfloor and the project address. There we go. We're going to apply that. And now you have that as well. And so if they're all done, that's it. You have all the information. And now you can go and view this submission from the contractor's portal to see what that looks like. Okay, so now we're here in the portal, and this is the submission that we made in the app and how you view it in a detailed view in the portal. So you can see here we have our floor plan, and on the right-hand side we have the video that was generated. And so I could just play a little bit of clip of that so you can see. And the whole measurement session was recorded. I'll jump ahead. You can see the pins being placed and so on. Over here on top of the video where it says details, you click that and you have all the details that was provided from the app, including the user, and then the survey information. So that was the survey that was attached to our submission here. Those details are fed right there. You can click on the floor plan and you can zoom in to see all the measurements and the labels. And something that we're looking at adding here on this screen in the very near future is a downloadable DXF file. And we're doing that because we don't actually have an estimate builder or a way to send an estimate from our system, but DXF integrates with many other systems in which you can get all the measurements and square footage, and you're able to send it from those other platforms. So let's jump. Oh, I suppose real quick, something we're also adding is going to be a feature on here that breaks down each material type and its square footage. So we did 2 rooms that were carpet, and so you would see how many total square feet you need for carpet. And then if there were multiple rooms that were measured for refinishing or a new hardwood floor, you would see the total square footage for that particular material type, because that can be important. So now let's jump over to what the pipeline looks like. So we were just clicked into a user for the detailed view, but this is just kind of backing out one step. And here you can see the whole pipeline and the steps. And from left to right, you kind of have good, better, and best, right? So people that signed up and received the app are in the first column, and as they take actions, they move on downward towards the measured column, which is where we want to get them so that we have the details to get them some numbers. The leads will move automatically through the system. So as they take actions, they'll just jump over steps, jump to the next step, and you can track them right here. Something that we have built in is automated follow-ups. Automated follow-ups, so if somebody signs up for the app, they receive it, but they never installed it, they're going to get some reminders via text message and email to click the link and install the app to move them along. One thing that you could do if you're looking to utilize the system is, in addition to those automated messages, a phone call to particularly these people in the app sent column, a phone call to just let them know, like, hey, there's a real person here monitoring your activity, and we're looking for you to engage and create a measurement for us and create your floor plan, submit it to us. And a little bit of encouragement boosts that engagement with the user. And that's a very important phone call you can make. Let's go through another tab here. We have the analytics. And so right here, this is just for the past week for this account. And here you have on the top line is the form submission. So basically we're tracking the numbers through the system, right? So form impressions, these are total impressions. So that means any time the form was actually viewed. So this is not unique to an individual. An individual could rack up a few impressions, and that is definitely the case. So this number is a little overstated, and we're working to improve to make that unique impressions so that it's only counted once per user for each person. Then we have app sent, app installed, measured, quote sent, and one deal. And these last two are ones that you can manually update yourself from here in the portal. Back on the pipeline that showed you all the stages. You can pick a date range. So if you want to, if you have a marketing campaign and you want to measure, the results of it, you can do that by selecting a different date range, and the numbers will update for you. So you can measure progress over time, and in addition, your sales efforts too. We'll jump over here to the settings tab. So this is how you get connected to the system. So this form is customizable. You can change the color for your website, whatever matches your branding, and then you can change uh, the text to be whatever you want it to say. And then you can set up email notifications by clicking that below. So anytime you get a new lead, regardless of their activity, just as soon as they hit your system, boom, you can get a notification for follow-up. So a few other things we're going to be adding in here that are not yet shown are material types. So you notice that the user could pick a different material type, whether it's carpet or vinyl, LVP, and those need to be customized to your own. So that is coming here very, very soon. Is along with customizing the default room labels. So if you want to customize those to kind of maybe suit a better niche instead of having a standard residential um, labels like kitchen and bedroom, bathroom, you could customize those labels to be something if you're in a particular niche. So I think this is the bulk of it, and I would be happy to take some of your questions.
Hey, Cheston, so we have a few questions for you.
Sounds good.
The first one, we sell to the high end of the market and we depend heavily on a hand-holding, in-person kind of sales process. It seems like if we try this, we maybe could lose some sales. What are your thoughts on that? What do you say to that one?
Yeah, it's a valid concern um, because this is new to you, but I've been doing it and we've have others doing it. And so the comfort we've gotten through that, we broke through that, difficulty or that unease feeling, but it doesn't happen. It's amazing how effective you can sell um, online or over the phone and how much you can do to save time. So, and I think there's, so many examples of high ticket purchases that take place online. So it's just it's not an issue anymore.
It really has become more normal these days, hasn't it? Another one for you, Cheston. What if you have this is a good question. What if you have a customer who refuses to use the app, or what if they just are not good with technology?
Yeah. So the refusal of the app, this is a good one. It doesn't happen too often where there's an outright refusal, but I mean, honestly, it usually sends me a red flag about that particular customer. If you want to engage and work with them, so I guess it depends on. It's very dependent, but cooperation and a little bit of willingness to try something is a good signal that they're a good customer to work with. Um, somebody that is not tech savvy, I get it. Um, we designed it for these people because that's who are mostly purchasing these baby boom generation are most of the buyers for our customers and probably most of your customers as well. And so we designed it to be very guided. Like there's not a lot of ways to navigate. There's not a lot of options. It's basically here's the thing to do right in front of you and just do that thing. Um, so to at least see an attempt, is nice. And if there's, obviously somebody can struggle to take photos and send them, like that particular user, fall back on your traditional in-home estimate, right? So that's ultimately it. But a first attempt at this, and then you fall back on that if it wasn't successful.
That makes sense. Another one for you, Justin. We guarantee our pricing, so we rely on having very accurate estimates. It makes me uncomfortable to think about relying on measurements done by homeowners. I guess the gist of that question then is like, how accurate are they really?
Yeah, great question. Um, yeah, so there's two parts to this. You can verify the placement of those pins by watching how they did it. Were they reckless? And generally not. Somebody that's attempting it, they're so, mostly maybe like they didn't have to be so tedious and careful. It's like just close is good, right? We're trying to get the square footage and it's going to be very, very, very close. Um, Accuracy, we've done a lot of testing on this. Um, so it depends on the device type, but at the worst case scenario I've seen is if they place the pins about where it is, it's about a 2% error rate, right? So they're off by about 2%. If you have a high-end device or a high-end iPhone, um, some of these are equipped with LiDARs, something like this with 3 cameras on there, you're within tenths of a percent accuracy. I couldn't believe it. It's just we've dialed this in, and the technology is so good now. So the trust in the tech is really all it comes down to. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, probably a lot more accurate than with your tape measure,
It can be, and a lot quicker.
right? Well, those are all the questions we have, Cheston. I'll just remind everyone that you will be getting an email with a recording of this in case you want to refer back to it, or if you want to share it with colleagues or coworkers. And yeah, Cheston, thank you so much for doing the demo, explaining this product to our audience.
Thanks for having me, and I really appreciate everybody that tuned in and stayed here. I hope you found it valuable and picked up some nice things.
Thank you.
All
Everybody
right,
have a great day.
bye.